What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Love and Rice podcast with your host, Aunt Ma.
I'm your other host, Christina.
And if you guys are new to this channel, this podcast, make sure to subscribe to Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Google, missing one, Spotify. Did I say Spotify? Spotify has some new features for you guys to comment. I often put polls on there if you guys want to vote on there just for some fun stuff, just so we get to know you guys a little bit more. We're also on YouTube, which you guys get to see the actual visuals of the videos from this podcast. I know some of you just listen to it. So thank you. If you're new here, welcome. If you guys are returning listeners, thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys. Man, we've been doing YouTube and the content game for the last 8 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy, right?
It's been a long time.
And so a lot of you have been following since then, and it's just, I'm so grateful for the support that you guys have given us to give us the platform to even do this podcast. So I appreciate every single minute we do this, and that kind of brings us to what this episode is about. We are proud to share with you guys that we are opening a new business together. And
this is going to be our first official one. We've always talked about doing something like this.
Well,
and
we have other businesses together.
Right.
But this is our first brick and mortar, which is exciting. If you don't know what brick and mortar means, that's like an actual physical building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've worked together. We have our own companies together, right? So we kind of understand the work dynamic that we have with each other. But actually having a physical store where we're going to be having employees and running a shop and all of these things, this is new to us.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
I'm excited to tell you guys we are opening a Junbi in Garden Grove, California. Man, I don't even know what to say, because the last time I had a restaurant was 9 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And if you don't know what Junbi Matcha is, it's basically a matcha store that we've been investors for I don't know how many years now. Maybe 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of partners in this business. So for us to have the opportunity to actually have our own shop is crazy to us.
Yeah. So Junbi Matcha, guys, it's a matcha business where we have a farm in Japan, and they harvest, they grow, they grind up the matcha leaves. They pick every single matcha leaf that looks perfect to them. So the quality is really high up there for Japanese matcha. And I'm so glad going from Japan to here, we get to share it with you guys in California, what authentic Japanese matcha is without having to go there. This is straight from the source, straight from the farm to a cup to you guys to try. And so I know some of you have tried at our other locations. As investors, we started this whole thing with everybody, and we now have 6 shops, maybe 7 shops, or let's count this, right? We got Rowland Heights, Westwood, we got Waikiki, Portland, Richardson in Dallas, Texas, right? Then we got Princeton. And that's a 6, huh?
I think so. Did we miss any? I'm not sure.
No, that's a 6. And there's a bunch more opening this year. But
all in the works.
Every single location are different owners because we franchise out. So we've never had a part of every physical location until now, which is crazy for us because every time a new one pops up and we're so happy about it, I've always wondered, man, when are we going to open up our own Junbi? And we finally have this chance, and, being a partner with my wife, and then we also have 2 other partners with us to help us run the store, and it's just such a great feeling that we can bring matcha to Southern California, to Garden Grove.
And Garden Grove is one of our favorite places that we like to go to whenever we want good food, good drinks, Vietnamese coffee, your cocoa cane. It's just one of our favorite places to be, next to the beach too.
I also forgot we have one in Irvine. Okay,
That's right.
That was the first OC location, but we are the second OC location. But why Garden Grove? Because Garden Grove, every time we come back to California, we always go to Orange County. We are actually from the San Gabriel Valley. That's where our family lives, and we're always eating the food there. But finding a new love of food in Orange County. Like I love the Vietnamese food. I love the drinks. I just love everything about it. So we always have to go there on every trip. And it was only right for us to bring our favorite drinks
Yeah.
to the same place we love going to, you know? So I'm happy that we get to share that with you guys. Um, but what's crazy is that, you know, some of you who don't know, the ones that do follow, they know that we run so many businesses.
Right.
Like I think right now this is five or six businesses that we have running at the same time. And you know, you might be thinking, man, how are these guys gonna do it? They live in Vegas. They got two kids. You know, they got so many businesses. And honestly, we can't do it without the support of each other
Right.
and our partners that we have helping us run the store as well. You know, and we're gonna be there as much as we can. You know, but we do have our partners who we each of us have our own specific roles that we do with the business.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to running a business too, you know, we've always talked about it, but at the same time, because we are here, we wanted to make sure that we invest in something with people that we trust, right? So it's kind of a blessing in disguise where this opportunity just kind of, it felt like it kind of came out of nowhere, right? And now we have partners where they can be there at the actual store and help take care of the company while we're just kind of like doing things in the back end.
I mean, there's a lot of like we might have some surprise pop-ups.
Oh, for sure,
right?
definitely. We're gonna be
And
there as much as possible. You know, that's
yeah,
how dedicated we are to this.
so you guys, please follow the Junbi Garden Grove Instagram page. You know, you'll see updates on our grand opening, on construction of the place. Right now, it's a total shell. You know,
Yeah.
it's just bare bones inside, just wood and framing. And we're waiting for our permits so we can go ahead and start doing our construction, the design of the place, putting equipment in. And it's all just so exciting. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and we actually got to tour the location for the first time
yeah.
not too long ago, and just seeing the way that the surrounding areas are, like the seating areas, there's like play areas, is very family friendly, and it's just it's like what would you call it, like Instagrammable, or like you can pretty much post it on social media just because it looks so cool. Like I don't want to give away too much, but if you guys do follow the Junbi Garden Grove IG page, we'll keep you guys updated, and we'll probably be posting like little snippets of everything that is a part of the location, which is really what makes it stand out to me.
There's just so much to do in this little area that we have our shop at. You know, there's a lot of other shops in there. There's playgrounds for the kids to run around in, and just it's so much activities and it's fun. You know, so it's not just a place to get your matcha, but there's a lot of things. But I wanted to ask you, you know, we've had multiple businesses together, but you have never had a brick and mortar,
Right.
right? I've had a laundromat, I've had a liquor store, I've had a restaurant, and I've done things from also from scratch, where we had to build out the restaurant. I've also done stuff where I bought a really bad business and I had to fix the whole place up and then get it working again.
Yeah,
You know,
you've done a
so
lot of
I've
that.
been there with this business stuff, and so this is going to be my favorite one yet. You know, and for you, it's literally your first one. Like, how do you feel?
I mean, at first, when we were talking about things, I was kind of, I was unsure, right? Because, you know, usually when you jump into something that's new to you, you kind of are hesitant and you try to be practical about things. You're trying to outweigh the pros and cons. But, you know, like although I don't have my own personal experience for having my own company,
No, you do have your own company. It's not your own shop.
my own shop, yes, but I've grown up with my parents actually having their own like a discount store and a water store, right? They've had it for over 20 years, and when we first opened, you know, I remember always being so excited and wanting to be there to help them, trying to help them stock their inventory. Whenever they had to do other things, I'd be like, I want to do the register. Like, I want to talk to customers and do all of these things, right? And I got excited about it all the time. And, you know, just having that experience and thinking about like all of my jobs, like being in the corporate world, being in an office, 9 to 5, right? Set schedule. It was very different. And I liked both in different ways, but I think I like the idea of having our own company and being able to like create things the way that I wanted to, like my schedule, whenever I wanted to eat, however way I wanted to organize and stock things. Like it was up to us.
Kind of.
For the most part.
It's when you own your own business, it's like you don't get to choose when to eat. It's like when there's a slow moment, that's when you eat.
True,
right?
true.
So like what made you so happy to want to do all these things when your parents open up a store?
I think because it was something that was so new, and then just seeing how hard my parents were working and just kind of seeing them there. And I was kind of motivated to just make sure that I can do things for them as much as I could. I was also really young too. And they would get all these like cool little things, like there'd be beauty accessories, hair accessories, like just a bunch of stuff, right? And I just like to organize it, keep things neat, and make the store look nice for them, you know?
Nice.
So it was just things like that that made me excited.
Yeah, definitely. When you have your own store, there's some sort of pride of ownership, you know, and that's definitely where this is gonna. I don't know. I already have so much. I'm so proud of where it's gone so far. You know, with now we're gonna start construction soon.
Yeah.
And now announcing it to you guys, like I I don't know. It's I think what I'm most excited for is one, being able to share matcha with everyone in Garden Grove for you guys to come try it. And if we're there for you to come meet us, you know, I'm excited to meet you guys. And then also, I'm really excited to open this store with Christina, you know, with my wife. And that's definitely, that's probably one of my dream goals that I've never really thought about. But, you know, it's, I don't know. It's weird.
I
You
didn't
know,
know it
so
would happen.
exactly. So like every time I open up a business, I just think about myself, and what I can do and what I'm capable of, because I'm like, I can do this. I can make it work for everybody. I want to, you know, help out my family. And so I never thought about what can I mean, we've done stuff where it's like, let's try and start up a soap business right
Right.
together, because our kids were, they had allergic reactions to soaps when they were a baby, and we're trying to come up with all this natural soap and
Yeah, they had
um,
eczema, and we just,
right. And so
yeah.
we had stuff that we made, and we were gonna, you know, start testing them. We had facilities and stuff, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and everything
Mm-hmm.
stopped, and we just, that was the
We
end
just
of
stopped
that,
out.
right?
Yeah.
But like that would have probably been our first business together, you
Right.
know. But it wouldn't have been a brick and mortar. It would have been an e-commerce,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is
That's
different,
right.
right? Like we're at home doing the stuff together
Yeah. And we're
now,
basically still doing that now.
right? And so now we get to actually drive to our store and take care of our store together.
And I think that's what makes it more exciting, because having your own store. So Junbi already has like a reputation out there, right? For like high quality products and kind of like just the atmosphere and the customer base that we have. So for me, I'm excited that we actually have this store that we can go to. And when we go there, it's kind of like building a community, right? Like you have the community with your partners, and then you're building a community with all of the new employees and staff that are coming in, and then you're also building another community within the community of Garden Grove, right? All the
Right.
consumers and
I mean,
customers
like,
that are coming in.
everyone that comes in, the community gets built because
Yeah.
now we get to um, share what we know about matcha with you that a lot of people don't know. You know, like
Yeah.
all you guys know is things from coffee shops, you know, and
Or
why
Starbucks.
why does it taste so bitter at those shops? Why is it so powdery? And like, it shouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? So like, that's why Junbi is here to really share what high quality matcha is supposed to be about.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes me so proud of Junbi, is the fact that Junbi is not sacrificing quality of matcha,
Mhm.
and they don't have to make it taste good. And the way that they think about things, they try to infuse it with different kind of like flavors to it, right? And then it enhances the matcha.
Mhm.
Yeah, because a lot of the times people will, I don't know, I see a lot of people comment about like Starbucks, and I'm not hating on Starbucks, but they'll try to compare like different types of matcha to that, and that's not like, I wouldn't even compare Junbi to that.
Right.
Yeah.
So last week was the first day we all went to the shop together to go take a look and see the progress of the place. And it was the kids' first time.
Yes.
And the kids were so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, we have our own store. are we gonna go to our Junbi today? Like we're driving there, and like,
And
are we
that's
going to
so
ours?
weird.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like they're so excited for our own store.
Yeah, because they're so used to us going to all of the other locations, and then just hearing them say like we're going to ours, like we have our very own, like,
Yeah,
and for them to actually understand that and be excited, that's really cool.
it was a very proud moment. All right, so I got a question for you. If we, because we're opening this in Garden Grove, right? I even before this happened, I think in the last year I've been telling you, I was like, if we ever move back to California, it's got to be the OC. Like I want to be
Yeah,
closer to the beach. Do you think this is gonna be a push towards moving back to California eventually?
maybe it really depends because even before we're looking at houses back in LA too, and I remember us looking around there, like Westminster. We're trying to
We're look
make it work.
we're looking at homes in like Huntington Beach,
Yeah.
Newport Beach.
Yeah, and it just didn't make sense like for the price of homes out there and for what they needed a lot of work and I think,
I bet you those homes are worth like 200K more now.
probably. But, if Junbi ends up like doing really well out there, it might just give us more reason to come back.
I mean, I'm already back to California like 6 times a month,
Yep, that's true.
you know?
Yep.
So it's literally the same thing, but I don't know. I definitely wouldn't be moving now,
Yeah.
but in the next years, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how long we're going to stay out here for because we are kind of closer to family, but we're kind of not. And I do miss being home because, LA is our home pretty
Yeah.
much. We've been there our whole lives. So,
All right, going back to starting our own business here, I want to talk about why people want to open businesses and restaurants and why they get so excited for that, because for me, my reason is that when I get excited, I love something so much. All right. I have so much passion for it. And then I'm like, well, what if I can open up a store? Because you want to share what you love with everyone else. And that's why people want to open their own stores, right? They're making food in their house and they're like, Mom, this food tastes so good. You need to open up a restaurant.
right. Because they want to share that goodness with other people.
The happiness.
Yeah. The sense. Yeah.
Right. Like everyone needs to try this because you're gonna love it. Right. So it's not about like, oh my gosh, we're gonna make so much money because this tastes so good. It's never that. It's literally, you just cooked something so good that you think you can open up a restaurant so you can have everyone else love what you love.
Yeah,
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's
right?
kind of like when you get introduced to something, like you're trying a new drink or like a new restaurant or something, right? You're just trying with like your family or friends or whoever. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, I want to bring this person here. I want to tell them about this. I want to like
Right.
introduce them to it, And
Right.
I think that's what it is for us because like Junbi is something that we've been vouching for the longest time. We drink it all the time whenever we're back in LA. Our kids love it. And
I mean, we drink it here in Vegas because we have we have the tin cans. We
true.
have the packets that we can mix with our drinks.
It holds us down while we're out here, but when we go back there, we're always like, hey, should we go to Junbi? Should we make our trip?
Right.
Should we get it for the family and the kids? And yeah, we've talked about wanting to start a company or trying to like start from e-commerce and then hoping that we can have like a standalone store. And I think for us, we didn't do it just because we knew it would be very time consuming. And I think for this specific situation, I felt like it worked out because we actually have partners.
Oh, well.
Right, that's a huge thing.
So it's so hard in business to find the right people to work with. That's the hardest thing. Like we could have opened a Junbi 6 years ago if we wanted to. You know what I mean? But finding the right people to help you so it can grow and they can help take care of the people is so rare and hard to find. And when you find that special person, you got to take that opportunity. And so our partners, their names are Vanessa and Tim, and you guys might know Vanessa because I met her 8 years ago. Me and Vanessa were interns for David So at the same time. So he had two interns, and it was me and Vanessa, and then eventually she became his actual assistant for the next couple years. He took me away and put me into, Go for Broke. And then I got into JK and Barbell and all that stuff. And so I've known her for so long, I remember David always posting about her and saying that she is the best worker. She's so good. She's great at everything, And so, and you guys know me as like the guy, I hustle. I do, I can literally do anything, right? Jack of all trades type of thing. And I just have so much passion in everything that I do. So now when I have myself and Vanessa teaming up together, it's like a dream,
Yeah.
And I can't say no to this partnership. And I'm just so excited that everything is working out. It's in our favorite food place. It's with our favorite people, and we're serving to our favorite people. So it's like everything is so awesome about this.
Yeah, because in the past, I've seen you run multiple businesses and you didn't have any partners. Like, you're just basically doing everything on your
Hmm.
own. So,
And it sucked.
and it sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what strayed me away from it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to have my own business because I've seen how hard you worked and I've seen how many hours you have to put in. And although like I wasn't there with you all the time because I was still working at my job, I try to be there for you, but you can see the amount of stress that goes into owning your own business. So it's like we're glorifying how beautiful running a business can be, but also there's a lot of stressors that you would have to take into consideration, and it definitely is still an investment.
Let me say this. If you guys are looking to open up your own business, you really have to have the plan before you open the business, right? If you're a business owner who's like, I'm going to run this store all the time, I'm going to be there every day, you're probably going to lose your shit. I've done that. I've done that with my laundromat,
Many times.
right? It's open every single day and it never closes. And then your machines break down and you got to fix it. People call you because their clothes are stuck in there. People call me because some lady is taking a shit on the floor in the middle of the laundromat.
I remember
Like, there's
those
just
days.
so much stuff going on.
Mhm.
And then now when I have a liquor store, I'm also there every day. For 3 years, I was there 365 straight, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas, every
Every
single day.
day.
My
Every
birthday,
day.
it doesn't matter because people need to come to the store and buy things. And so if you think that it's great to open up a store and it's easy, it's not. It's the hardest thing in the world. I barely saw my wife and we just got married. You know what I mean?
I would just come in to see you during my lunch breaks because luckily I was working down the street from you. So I would come in, bring food all the time. But even then, it was just so short.
Right. I remember that, I would come home by like 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and then by about 5 a.m., I'm back out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was horrible.
And so to think about 4 hours at home with you and, I still got to shower, eat, and all that stuff, like there's literally no time. And so people don't understand how difficult it is to be a small business owner. And this is why when we see small businesses, and I see the way these owners are when they're there, especially at restaurants, I try to, order more food. I try to go there more often. I try to tip better. I just try to support small local businesses because I've been there and I know the struggle, So if you are, now at this age and I've done so much business, I know that I don't want to do stuff myself. The reason why people do is because they're like, hey, why am I going to pay someone $5,000 a month to work these hours when I can save that money and do it myself? You know what I mean? But like,
Is it worth it?
when you're young in your 20s, you want to do that because that's like the most money you've ever made, right? But at the same time, your mind is so small and you're thinking about collecting wages because of the time you're there instead of trying to see how to grow the business to expand and make more money, and that's one of the hardest things. That's why I say that when you first open a business, you got to start it knowing what your goal is, and so we have our partners that will be there helping us run the place while we try to think of things that we want to do for the future of the business. Maybe there will be some merch items, right? Maybe there's going to be another location at some point, things like that. So there's always an end goal to things. We have our plans for this store, and I'm not going to tell you guys just yet, but there's just so much that we can do, and so I'm just happy with the way everything is starting out right now.
Yeah. So, what would you say are maybe 3 tips that you would give to people if they are considering to run a business?
One, what is your end goal?
Okay.
Figure out your end goal. Two, figure out a system before you open a business. So your system can be relevant to your end goal. If you don't have a system, you're going to be there every day. The
Right.
system will allow you to not have to be there every day, right? Three is stay happy. I know it's stressful when you open a business and there's so many problems that come up, but those are normal. So the more you think how normal problems are, the more it won't stress you out and you can be happy doing what you love, because you got to remember you're opening up a business because you are falling in love with the idea.
Yes.
So when you're there, you have to be in love with it. You know, that's the biggest thing. And here I'll give you a bonus. Fourth one is you got to take the risk. Okay, if you know that something might fail, that's okay, because yes, it might fail, but if it fails, are you going to be okay? If you are, go do the business.
Yep.
If you're not going to be okay if it was to fail, then that means you don't have enough to sacrifice and it's not time yet.
Yeah. The
So
passion may not be enough.
yeah, you don't want to mess up your entire life and your future. You know what I mean? Like that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
So,
And I would say, tying back to all the tips that you gave to everyone, one important thing is also just finding the right people, right? Because
for
finding the
sure.
right people will help you implement all of those things that you mentioned
Right.
before. Yeah. So,
Do you have any tips? Because how about, so every time I tell Christina, I'm like, let's open up a business together. Like, can we do something together? And she's always hesitant. You know, she's always like, I'm too scared. I'm too nervous. What if this happens? What if that happens? Like, now you've actually jumped over those things.
yeah.
You made the leap forward. And what is your advice to everyone?
So I think it goes back to what you're saying about taking the risk, because if you ask me all the time to try to start a company that I'm not so sure about, right? It can be like a brand new thing that we're trying to start, and I'm like, ooh, this is kind of scary. But I think in this situation, I was willing to take the risk because I already know the company. And it's one that we've been a part of for so long. But yeah, it would just be taking the risk and making sure that you're financially able to, and that you have the right people and support system around you. Because when you're taking these risks, like, you have to be able to trust these people to be there with you for whatever happens.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely makes it easier with the
Yeah.
right team. So I'm thankful that it's starting the right way, you know. Um,
And also, if you're going to be starting a business with your husband or wife, I think, you should just have conversations about things, because, that can definitely change the relationship dynamic. And I feel like we're in a good place. And I think that we are able to communicate openly about things. And if we have different ideas, or even if we don't agree on things, I think we're at a point in our lives where we should be able to just openly communicate things and come out with a resolution, rather than like bumping heads, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah, and here's one thing: like when you open up a business with your spouse, your significant other, and the one that's opening it up, the one that has the more passion for it and more motivated for it, you need to support that and support them, and don't bring in the negativity. The what ifs are okay, because yes, we need to know the reality of the what ifs.
Right.
But when things, you gotta trust the process and trust the system, because the process it always starts in the beginning, and there's things to do to keep it going. And so from the very beginning, if you are doubting things and saying, I don't like this, I don't like that, it will never get through the process. So trust the process, allow your significant others to get it all the way through. And if it fails at the end, then you can say, I told you so.
Yeah.
Right. But at the beginning, it's not ready for that. And by doing so with your partner, if you guys are opening up businesses with them, it's going to ruin the process the entire way, because now it's kind of getting muddied up a bit the whole time, and they can't concentrate to what they focused on so hard in the last who knows how long about what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I
You know,
wouldn't force trying to open up a business. You just have to make sure that you're both on the same page, right? Because if it starts with a disagreement, it's going to keep going and it's going to keep adding on. And throughout every single step of the process, there may be a disagreement.
I mean, like the best workers are always the ones that say yes to everything. Yes, I can. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I will. And it's the same thing for your partners. Is everything we want to do is yes, yes, we can do this. Yes, we can try. And if we don't think that's a good idea, we don't. But yes, we can find another way, right? So there's always yes to continue, never a no, I don't want to do this. It's a yes, let's figure out another solution. Let's keep going. So that's the difference that you guys have to do when you're opening a business together with your family, with your significant other. You got to make sure that you have someone to always help you and find solutions to keep moving forward.
Yep.
That's the most important thing, is how to always move it forward.
Yep. And I think we're finally able to do that with June B. So
Yeah,
yep.
I'm excited, guys. So once again, follow the June B Garden Grove Instagram page. We're also going to be doing some giveaways soon. So follow our Instagrams, antma, xtina.m.a, and you guys will see our giveaways on there. And I'm just so excited for you guys to come to our store. And I hope that we are there when you are.
Yeah, that'll be
and
awesome.
We can take some pictures, have a drink together, and thanks for listening to this podcast. And we'll see you guys next time on the Love and Rice.
Bye-bye.